Hi friends, good morning. Yes, welcome to Eng-lane English classroom. Today we are with the 9th grade English. I think you are very happy and you have enjoyed the first unit. Today we are opening the second unit, Bonds of Love. Okay? Yes, you remember the lessons in the first unit, don't you? What are they? There were 3 lessons, you remember. First one is the race, a short story by Nisha Punjabi. Next one, the second was learning the game, an extract or excerpt from Sachin's autobiography. And the next one was a song, Bang the Drum. You remember all those things. What are they about? We have discussed it in detail. Main theme was sports. Sub themes were this. You have seen that. Just I want to remind you of these things. That's why I took it here. Sportsman spirit is there. Motivation is there. Family support is there. Hard work for success is there. Overcoming obstacles by perseverance is there. Optimism and confidence. Very important. Necessity of mental and physical health, empathy, resilience, and goal setting. All things are there. You know. Now, in brief, we can say they are about importance of sports, motivation, family support, optimism, and confidence in achieving one's goal. These were the important things. You know that. സ്പോർട്സിൻ്റെ പ്രാധാന്യം, മോട്ടിവേഷൻ, ഫാമിലി സപ്പോർട്ട്, കുടുംബത്തിൻ്റെ പിന്തുണ, ഒപ്റ്റിമിസം, ശുഭാപ്തി വിശ്വാസം, കോൺഫിഡൻസ്, ആത്മവിശ്വാസം. You know that. Now, that means they urge us to aspire to win. All the lessons, all the literary pieces urge us, lead us with aspiring to win. Urge us to aspire to win. You should wish for win. You should wish for winning. You should aspire to win. You should have a strong desire to win. Then only we can win and we can become champions. Right? Now, yes, we can move on to the next unit. Ready? We are going to start it with a prayer. Okay? was a nice rhyme along with a prayer. It is a prayer too, right? At the same time, it's a prayer too. Now, what do the children sing about? About God's wonderful love. God loves us all. That means there's a bond of love between the Creator and the creatures. Right? Now, do you remember the following pictures? See this picture, it was there in the first unit. We came across with them in the first unit, right? Who is these? Helen and Anne Sullivan Mercy. Helen Keller and Anne Sullivan Mercy. This one, Edison and his mother. This one, okay, come on, Ajit and Sachin Tendulkar. This one, his father. So Ajit and Sachin's father, that is Ramesh Tendulkar, you know. This is Sachin and Ajit sir. This is Ram Narayan and Taran, right? Now, we have seen those things, we have already discussed. Now, the important thing is that we can see different bonds of love in those pictures. Different bonds of love. What are they? One, I will give you an example, mother-son. In the case of Edison and his mother, mother-son bond is there. And you see, Ajit and Sachin, there is brother too, brother and brother bond is there. And what else is there? Come on. In the case of Anne Sullivan Mercy and Helen Keller, that is teacher-student relation is there. And Ramarana Tharun too, coach and student or teacher-student relation is there. And Ajrekar sir and Sachin Tendulkar same is there. And which are the other things? Right? Ramesh Tendulkar father and son bond is there. And we have seen such many bonds. Do you have to love only them? I mean that only the immediate relatives and our teachers and trainers only. Every day we pledge that we are all Indians. We all Indians are brothers and sisters. That means all Indians are brothers and sisters. Certainly we feel so. Now, my question is this. We have bonds of love with our parents, with our teachers, with our brothers, with our friends, and with all the Indians. But what about other people? Please look at the picture. What does that indicate? Come, see, study thoroughly. See different images. Dove. People are standing in a particular way. This is the globe, this is the globe, and this is the world. Right? Okay, shall we discuss? Right. What do you see in the picture? A globe is there, people are there. They are standing, holding their hands. And what are included in this picture? You can say that. Okay. And then the world is depicted there. And how are the people seen? They are standing, holding their hands. That means that proclaims unity. Okay. And then what do the doves signify? You know, doves signify peace. What other images, events does the picture remind of you? That we can discuss in later. All these images and the events that remind us something, or they remind us of something. Let us see it. And what idea does the picture convey? What's the message of this picture? How can you draw the connection between each image? Let us see it, right? And before that, you can try to give a caption to the picture, right? Now we are going to address these questions. See, it is about universal brotherhood, Sarvalavya Sahodharyam, right? Peace, Samadhanam, human values, Manaviga Mulyangal, right? It emphasizes, the picture emphasizes the fact that only the noble values of love, charity, truth, peace, etc. can make the very coexistence of humanity. Again, it emphasizes the fact that only the noble values of love, charity, truth, peace, etc. can make the very coexistence of humanity an attainable reality. Only through these values, that means Daya, Karunyam, Satyam, Samadhanam, Sneham പോലുള്ള ഇത്രയും കാര്യങ്ങളിലൂടെ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിയുള്ളൂ, മനുഷ്യൻ്റെ സൗഹൃദപരമായ ഒരു നിലനിൽപ്പ് എന്നുള്ള കാര്യം യാഥാർത്ഥ്യമാക്കാൻ കഴിയണമെങ്കിൽ ഈ വാല്യൂസ് വേണം, ഈ മൂല്യങ്ങൾ വേണം. Unless these values are strengthened by virtuous living and upheld in our personal and social lives, the essence of universal fraternity and global oneness may be at stake. If you don't care these values, what would happen? These very important thing, that is the essence of a universal fraternity, Sarvalokya Sahodharyam ennu parayunna karyam thanne, and global oneness. People are, human beings are brothers and sisters. We are the sons and daughters of same parents, right? We have the same ancestry, right? So that idea will be at stake, will be at danger. That means it may not come true, right? So the picture is about bonds of love. It is the title of our unit. Okay, dears. So through this unit, we have to try to inculcate these values in us, right? Okay. Now, bonds of love, that is unit 2. See, bonds of love. What is a bond? A connection that fastens things together. Bandhana, bandham, emotional link, vaigarigamaaya bandham, right? And now, its theme is values, as we have seen, values and attitudes. What does it mean, attitude? Approach towards something. That means in Malayalam, manobhavam, right? What are the sub-themes? Selfless service, social ethic, political integrity, Rashtriyaparamaya Ulgradanana, you know that, and universal love, truth, peace, sacrifice, etc. Maternal love, mother's neham, right? These are the things that we are going to deal with in this unit. Then which are the units that we are going to come across? First one is maternity. That's an anecdote by Lilika Nakos. Let us see her or learn about her in detail later. Next one is Song of a Dream. That's a poem by Sarojini Naidu. You know that? Do you know her? Next one is Tolstoy Farm, an extract taken from the autobiography of our father of the nation, that is Mahatma Ji, right? Now, these are things that we are going to discuss in this unit. Okay, we have come across different bonds of love. Teacher, student, mother, son, father, son, and friend, brother. We have come across such many bonds of love, right? Which among them is the strongest? Usually there may be difference personally, in some cases that may vary, but generally which among them is the strongest, right? Please watch the videos, then you can judge it. After that we can move on, right? First
പൊന്നും മണികളും
Hello dears, I think I have enjoyed two poems and one in Malayalam, Pudapattu, that, and that is a poem or that can be a song, right? Next one is one in English. What are they about? That is what matters here. What are they about? You see in the first, that is that Pudapattu, you can see the mother gets ready to give her own eyes instead of her or for her child or for her babe. That means she values her child more than everything, her babe more than everything in the world. That is maternal love, right? And the second, we have seen the child's mother used to sing that song, and now she is no more. When he or it hears that song, it remembers its mother and feels happy, but at the same time he feels sad, right? Because she is numb. Then that shows the strong relation between the babe and the mother, or baby and the mother and the baby, right? That is not one side, but it is too strong both with the mother and the babe, right? Or the baby, right? Now, so let us say that they are about the maternal love of mother, right? Now, shall we learn an anecdote about maternity? Right? Okay, that is the first lesson, maternity. That's an anecdote. Let us see what's that. Maternity means motherhood, madhurdam, motherliness, the qualities or the higher qualities, the high qualities which befit a mother, right? Next one is anecdote means a short account of an incident, especially a biographical one, right? Anecdote, right? Now it is written by Lilika Nakos. Let us see something about her. See, this is maternity. You see the close relation between baby and the mother. Now see, this is Lilika Nakos, and you please read her profile or some details about her. Lilika Nakos was a Greek novelist, journalist, and short story writer. You know that. She was one of the first women writers of modern Greek prose, and for many years the only woman in Greek journalism. She was the only woman journalist in Greece. He was called as first hippie or something like that. We can read it. And she is best remembered for her story collection titled Children's Inferno, stories of the great famine in Greece. Famine, shaman, right? One of her best known novels is Lost Soul. That is her best known novel. Lilika Nakos usually wrote about the misery and suffering of children and women. That's very important. That is the theme of her writing. Misery and suffering. Dears, misery and sufferings. Right? You see, this is the best example of misery and suffering. You might have come across this child. Who is this? Island Kurdi, the dead body of a little child who was the victim of human activities, human classes, and greed for money, and enmity, hostility, violence. Wow, right? Yes. Okay, now he was one of the refugees, from Syria. You might have read it. I'm not going to explain. Somehow, a heartbreaking scene, a heartbreaking sight, right? Now, how did it happen? Let us watch it, right? Okay, dears, how do you feel? That is war, that is right, killing human beings, killing people, killing brothers and sisters, destroying their possessions, looting their possessions, and making them suffer, and destroying their houses, destroying their homes. What's the use of it? Who wins in a war? No one wins in a war. That is against humanity. And what is the consequence? And what can a war or rat, communal rat, it is usual in many countries, right? And then other conflicts, sometimes natural calamities, what can they create, or what are the products of those things, war, and the result of those wars and natural calamities. Dears, we should know that we should hate wars. You don't, or we may not be supporting any kind of wars, right? There should be humanity, non-violence, and just as our Father of the Nations highlighted or projected. Okay, right? Now, what's the result of these wars? Let us see. Okay, dears, I think might have watched it. What about those people? They had houses, they had their own countries, but what is the condition? What is their condition now? They are in the midst of suffering. They are also human beings. The children are, they are also our sisters and brothers, right? Then the suffering and the miseries are there all round. Then what should we do, right? Please watch this video and you will get an insight to it. Okay friends, what did the boy do? See, this is what we have to do. We have something, the others may not have those things. We have to help them. You can see the values like love, charity, empathy, sympathy with that boy. The same idea is there in the poem that we are going to see, right? This one, see? Lighting one candle with another candle, spring evening. This is translated by Robert Haas. It is not really, it is not in English. Let us see it. It is an haiku, yes. Haiku means unrhymed verse form in 3 lines. It is of Japanese origin, right? 3 lines and they are not, they are unrhymed. And see, that tells us about something, some values or some nature and so on, some there may be on nature or values or humanity or something like that. Let us see what's the same idea is there. What we have watched in the last video, same idea is there. Let us see it. The light of candle is transferred to another candle. See, that is, we can, when we light one candle with another lit candle, then spring evening, then see, we can see spring twilight. Twilight means there will be light. Okay dears, by doing some deeds, they may be very small or that cannot be very big or something like that, but even though through small deeds of kindness, of love, we can spread the light all over the world, right? Okay, right, yes? That is, you can see this in the picture, we have seen that one. When we light these things, there will be twilight, there will be enlightenment, right? Okay, now see, haikus focus on brief moments in time, juxtaposing, placing 2 sides, right? 2 images, and here you can see the image of a lighting candle, and then we can see the spring sky, right? Creating a certain sense of enlightenment. A good example of this haiku, Master Yosa Bosan is the exact author of this haiku, and it was translated by Robert Haas. Okay, and his comparison of singular candle with the starry wonderment of spring sky, right? Wonderment means a feeling of something strange or unexpected happen, right? Okay, something you have got it. That means only through deeds of kindness we can make the world happier and we can make it a heaven, right? Now the case is so dear. Now helping each other and empathizing with the suffering of our fellow beings will help us create a world of peace and love. That is the message, right? But do we always nurture such values in our life? Okay, let us see. Please look at the picture. Try to guess who he is and what he is suffering from. Right? See? This one you have to look at him, and along with that you have to study the surroundings too. Right? Okay, you may have some idea. Shall we see what exactly it is? Please read the first 5 paragraphs of the anecdote, Maternity. We can learn everything about him. Shall we read it? It was more than a month since they were at Marseilles. The camp of Armenian refugees on the outskirts of the town already looked like a small village. They had settled down in any way they could. The richest under tents, the others in the ruined sheds, but the majority of the refugees, having found nothing better, were sheltered under carpets held up at the 4 corners by sticks. They thought themselves lucky if they could find a sheet to hang up at the sides and wall them from peering eyes. Then they felt almost at home. The men found work no matter what, so that in any case they were not racked with hunger and their children had something to eat. Of all of them, Michal alone could do nothing. He ate the stale bread which his neighbors cared to offer, and it weighed on him. For he was a big lad of 14, healthy and robust. But how could he think of looking for work when he literally bore on his back the burden of a newborn babe? Since his birth, which had caused his mother's death, he had wailed, proclaiming his famished state from morn till night. Who would have accepted Michal's services when his own compatriots had chased him from their quarters because they were unable to bear the uninterrupted howls which kept them awake at night? Michal himself was dazzled by these cries. His head was empty and he wandered about like a lost soul, dying from lack of sleep and weariness, always dragging about with him the deafening burden that had been borne for his misfortune and its song, and that had so badly chosen the moment to appear on this earth. Everybody listened to it with irritation. They had so many troubles of their own, and they all pitifully wished it would die. But that did not happen. For the newborn child so desperately to live and cry louder his famished state. The distracted woman stuffed their ears, and Michal wandered about like a drunken man. He had a penny in his pocket to buy the infant meal, and not one woman in the camp was in a position to give it the breast enough to drive one mad. Okay, right? Very touching story, dears. I think you have got it. Now, what was that boy's name? You know, Michal, right? What was his problem? He is a refugee and he has to look after or take care of a newborn baby, but he has no money. No one helps him, all these things. Did anyone help him? No. No one helped him. Can he face the situation? What do you think? Yes or no? Okay? Please guess. Why do you think so? Sorry, dears. Why do you? Do is left out here. Why do you think so? You have to read adding do here. Why do you think so? Let us know more about it, right? We can read the paragraph again silently. You don't forget to note the words, right? Read it. Okay? I think you got it. Now let us revisit. Let me ask you some very simple questions and try to answer it, right? How long were they being at Marseilles, or how long had they been there at Marseilles? Okay, come on, yes. More than a month, right? And it was camp of refugees, and to which country that the refugees belong to? Okay, Armenia. They were Armenian refugees. And how did that place, that outskirts of that town, that is Marseille town, look like? It looked like a small village. How did they or how had they settled down? In any way they could. The richest under tents, the others in ruined sheds. But what about the majority of refugees? They sheltered or they were sheltered. They sheltered themselves or they were sheltered under carpets held up at four corners by sticks or pegs, right? Okay. And why do they want to get a sheet? They want to protect their privacy. They want to warn them from peering eyes. Then they feel or they felt relaxed and happy, right? How did they find their livelihood? Men found work. What work? Maybe that or might be that. And they had only one aim in their minds, that is, they were not raked with hunger and their children had something to eat, must have something or might have something to eat. Okay, yes? Now, but one couldn't go for work or one could do nothing. Who was that? Mikali. What did he eat? He ate stale bread, not fresh bread, which his neighbors cared to or were willing to offer. Okay, and now, what type of a boy, what kind of a boy was Mikali? He was a big lad of 14, healthy and robust. Why couldn't he go for work? Because literally he bore on his back the burden of a newborn baby. What happens? His mother died. What the boy do or that infant do, the baby do? It wailed, proclaiming, declaring, announcing its hungry state from morning to night. And what did his compatriot or fellow refugees do? What would his compatriot or the fellow refugees do? Fellows do? They had chased him. Why? Because they were unable to bear the uninterrupted wails which kept them awake at night. Okay? Then Mikali himself was cried by these cries because it was so unbearable. Okay? What did he feel of himself? He felt that he was dying from lack of sleep and weariness, tiredness. How does Lilicarnacos Canberra describe Mikali? He was like a lost soul. He couldn't find the way. And okay, and how did all others listen to its cry or its call? They listened to it with irritation, with anger. Why? Because they had their own problems, their own troubles to meet with, and what they wished the child would die. Did the child die? No. What the distracted women do to avoid hearing that wine? They stuffed their ears. And why couldn't Mikali give it milk? Because he had no even a penny, and no one in the camp, no women in the camp, or not one woman in the camp was ready to give it the breast. Okay, yes. Now let us think of the scaffolding questions. See, these are the questions. I think you can do it yourself. First one is, how did the Armenian refugees settle? We have discussed it already. That is, in any way they can, about their tents and ruined sheds, and the majority lived under the carpet held up with sticks at the four corners. You know that. Describe the life of refugees in the camp. You know how the men live and how do they find their livelihood. You have to write that one. Why couldn't Mikali earn even a penny? You know that because he bore a burden of newborn babe. You know that. And why was he chased away by his fellow Armenians? Because they couldn't bear its hall or its veil. Mikali would wonder like a lost soul, comment on the comparison, because he had to look after a human being. No one helped him, so he didn't know what to do. So the comparison is very nice, right? Why the refugees wish that the child would die? Because they had their own troubles. Now notice how the women behaved. What do you think about their attitude? They were not ready to help Mikali. It is shameful, I think, right? You can write it yourself. The answers are sample answers are given in notes. You can compare your answers with them, right? Now let us see the story in detail, right? Okay. Before that, let us see the words. Marseille, there's a seaport in southeast France. Southeast France, or harbor, seaport, you know that, Turamukhan. Armenian means belonging to Armenia, that is there south of Caucasus mountains. You can see it in the world map. And refugee means an exile who flees for safety, that is Apayarati. Outskirts means Prandha Pradesh, outline area. Settle, take up residence and become established, you know that. Tent, a portable shelter, that means you can see that. Tent, ruined, destroyed physically or morally. Nashpikapata, Nasha. Shelter means provide shelter for Abhayam, Thirdaga, Abhayanalga. Peer means to look closely at something, feel at home, that's an idiom. This one, DS bracket, sorry, right? To feel comfortable and relaxed. Raked with anger means feel at home is an idiom, yes, you have to note it. Raked with anger means enduring severe hunger, Shaktamaya, Kashpa Sahitya, right? Now let us see that paragraph. It was more than a month since they were at Marseille. The refugees reached at Marseille before a month. They had been there for a month, right? The camp of Armenian refugees on the outskirts of the town already looked like a small village. I think very simple, yes. I think you have got it. That camp with many Armenian refugees on the outskirts of Marseille. Now it looked like a small village. They had settled down in any way they could. They lived there, they made their residence in any way they could. The richest under tent, Panakara tent in the Tade, you know that, and others in the ruined sheds. But the majority, Puri Bhagam, of the most of the refugees having found nothing better were sheltered under carpets held up at four corners by stick. You have got it, yes. The carpet in Kali okay, right, you got it. They thought themselves lucky if they could find a sheet to hang up the sides and wall them from peering eyes. They wanted to get a sheet to hang it because they want to wall them or protect them from peering eyes. Some people peer or would peer into their house, and that affects their privacy, right? So they wanted to protect their privacy. So that is സംരക്ഷിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ഒരു ഷീറ്റ് തൂക്കിയിട്ടാൽ നന്നായിരുന്നു അവർ ചിന്തിച്ചിരുന്നു. അങ്ങനെ കിട്ടിയാൽ they felt almost at home. They were relaxed. They felt relaxed and comfortable, right? That's an idiom, yes. The men found work no matter whatever work they get, the men did it, and they got something to save themselves from hunger, and not only themselves and their children too from hunger, right? I think it is clear. Now let us move on to next. This is the refugee camp, and this is the tents. This is the tents. Now next paragraph. See, the word stale, no longer new, fresh allata, right? Care to or for means to want or to be inclined to want or willing to do, to be willing to do. This is the suitable meaning here, I think. Beyond means to trouble, vashmipikkuka, buddhimutikkuka. Robust, healthy, look for, try to locate or discover, tereyuka. Literal sense, akshararthathil, bear, to carry something, chumakkuka. Put up with something unpleasant. Two meanings are there, different places, which sahikuka. Next, wail, to cry. Famished means extremely hungry. Proclaim means to affirm or declare. Compatriot means fellow countryman. Chase means to run after. Uninterrupted, continuing time without interruption. Nirtade. Howl means a prolonged cry of anguish or a wail. Nirtade karchinani with the C's. This is a wail. Okay. Now let us see. All of the Mikali alone. Among them, Mikali alone could do nothing. Right? Mikali couldn't do anything. He ate the stale bread, not so fresh bread, nalladallatha bread, padagiya bread, right? Which the neighbors were willing to offer him. Right? And it weighed on him. It troubled him. Why? Because he was a big lad, boy of 14, healthy and robust. He was very healthy. But how could he think of looking for or discovering for work when he literally, carried on his back a burden, a weight of a newborn babe. It was always there, so he couldn't look for work. Since his birth, that baby's birth, it had caused his mother's death. That means at the time of or giving birth to that baby, his mother died. And he had wailed, proclaimed and declaring his extreme hunger, right? And from morn till night. That means on end it cried and cried, or it wailed, right? Declaring, announcing his hunger, right? And see, who would have accepted Mikali's services when his own countrymen, that means Armenians, didn't accept or didn't let him stay with them, because they chased him from there, they ran after him from their quarters because they were unable to bear that uninterrupted house, right, which kept them awake at night because they couldn't sleep at night, right? Yes. Now the last paragraph. The words base means to make someone feel stupid. Wander means to move about aimlessly. Lost soul. Shabikkapatta atmavu. That is the meaning is that we are unable to find way. Die from that, so die with some uses, that's why put it here, die from a disease or something like that. And lack means deficiency or an absence. Weariness means tiredness. Drag about, that means just pull. And deafening means loud enough to cause hearing loss. Irritation. Aswasthada, desya, pitifully, mercifully, desperately, nirashayodukudi, distracted, confused, stuffed to fill or cram or pack tightly in something, right? Infant, a very young child, drive it, cause to become, karanamavuga, right? Okay. Now symbol is Mikali himself dazed. He felt stupid by these cries. He was confused, he was puzzled by these cries. His head was empty, nothing was there in his head, and he wandered about like a lost soul. He walked aimlessly seeking or looking for a nursing mother, but no one, nursing woman, no one helped him. He felt that he was dying from lack of sleep and always dragging about with him the deafening burden. Dragging here, such a meaning is there. Move slowly, such a meaning is there. That can be given here. Deafening burden that he had been born for his misfortune. ആ കുട്ടിയുടെ ദൗർഭാഗ്യത്തിന് വേണ്ടി പറന്ന് ചെവിടപ്പിക്കുന്ന കരച്ചിലുമായിട്ട് ഭാരം ചുമന്നുകൊണ്ട് പതുക്കെ he moved slowly. And its song, it was not only here his means Mikalis, this his means Mikalis, it means the child itself, the babe itself misfortune that had so badly chosen the moment to appear on the earth. It was born in the bad times, or the moment it was born was not at all good, right? And everybody listened to it with anger, with restlessness, with irritation. That means അസ്വസ്ഥതയോടെയാണ് നോക്കിയത്, ദേഷ്യത്തോടുകൂടിയാണ് ശ്രദ്ധിച്ചത്. And they had so many troubles of their own. We cannot blame them. They are refugees, they had their own problems, and they pitifully, mercifully wished it would die. They wished the babe would die. But that did not happen, didn't die. It is child so desperately with great despair to live and cry louder his famished state. They cried louder and louder. The distracted woman, the confused woman, stuffed their ears. Mikali wandered about, the chevi potti, that means, right? And Mikali wandered about like a drunken man. He wandered, he moved, walked aimlessly. He had in the penny means a coin, the coin of least value, that is penny, right, in his pocket to buy that child milk or that baby milk. And not one woman in the camp gave it the breast. That was enough to drive Mikali mad, right? Yes. Now let us see the main ideas. Maternity is a story which had three main settings. It takes place in three different places. One is a camp of Armenian refugees, that is what we have seen now. Next one is camp of Anatolian refugees, that is next part. The home of the Chinese family, that is the last part. It presents an insight into the strength and weakness of human nature. Mikali, a teenage boy, is the main character. He is 14, but he is unable to work for his bread, as he has to find a nursing mother for his charming infant brother. He stands for courage and determination. The women in the refugee camps despise their baby because its wails disturb their sleep and they become sick. His miserable and horrible experiences make Mikali desperate. Okay, yes. Now, you please read this question. How did child become a problem to Mikali and the others in the refugee camp? We can easily write it in the form of a paragraph. What impression do you get about Mikali? Is there many ideas? I think you might have read it. Okay. Now what you have to do is write a short paragraph on it. Okay. Now dears, with thanks to the students of the school, a student or your friends have made this in the form of a video. Let us watch their video. Okay. Ready dears?
See, this is the Muslim. The Armenian refugees, were at the refugee camp for more than a month. The camp seemed like a small village on the outskirts of Marseilles. Rich people lived under the tents and others in rude sheds. The men in the camp were ready to do any works as they wanted to look after their children. The gloomy faces of small children reflect the real face of Armenian refugees. Here, a lad of 40, healthy and robust, but he is not able to go to work. He literally bore on his back the burden of a newborn baby. He doesn't have even a penny in his pocket to feed his brother or to feed himself. He has no money to buy milk for that baby. The most terrible thing was the regular unbearable crying of his brother because of hunger. Due to this deafening burden, Mikhai's compatriots chased him away. They wished the child would die. One day,
Okay, dears, I think you have got all these things. Very interesting, touching, and moving. You have to read it again and again, listen to it, read it again and again. So touching, and compare ourselves with them. Okay, thank you for watching. Notes attached, and meet you again. Till then, goodbye.